expectations stay high for your top 10 Miami Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal's vision is coming together.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Miami Hurricanes radio network. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen and your first watch. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. On this loaded episode, we will get stories today from a three-time national champion at the University of Miami. We'll talk about that Mario Cristobal vision and how the Canes can live up to or exceed their top 10 ranking. That's right, my friends. The Associated Press poll has come out, and identical, at least for Miami, from the coaches poll that came out last week, the Hurricanes find themselves at number 10, and they're going to face number 6 Notre Dame week 1. So Miami's top 10 in the coaches poll, now the Associated Press poll. Pressure is on, right? Friends, it is a Tuesday. You know what that means. It's a Truth Teller Tuesday with Bruce Warner, and Bruce brought the goods with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just won 2 big hearings this morning, so I'm in a really good mood. In fact, my client's 2 kids were kidnapped by the mother, and the judge ordered the kids back immediately or else she's going to jail. So my client's thrilled.
Hey,
anyway,
the Lord's work out there.
So I brought a 3-time national champion, a very good friend of mine, somebody who I guess his nickname has to be Mr. 12-0 because that's what he says every year. It used to be 11-0, now it's 12-0. So here's a 3-time national champion, a buddy of mine. He's been a friend of mine for years. Here's Kelvin Harris, former center.
Kelvin.
Hey. First of all, it's 12-0.
It's 12-0, right? That's your new nickname now, 12-0 Harris. Although,
so let's get the clarification. So we got former center Kelvin Harris, 3-time national champion. Because we haven't got. Let's get your prediction right off the bat. Are you going 12-0? Is Miami going 12-0 this year?
13-0.
Oh, they're going to beat Clemson in the title game, huh?
Well, as I was telling Alex offline, I've been going back and forth with Eric McLean about this for about a good 3 months, ever since Carson Beck came in. I'm like, yeah, we're going to tear y'all ass up. And, it's funny, it's 2 linemen joking back and forth, but he's like, man, I hope it happens. I want to see that game. And like, yeah, I do too. Because they're clearly the 2 best teams in the ACC and 2 of the top 5 teams in the I don't even think there's like 5 teams that can win a national championship.
Well, Notre Dame's favorite. It's a big game for us. We played them 8 years ago.
Notre Dame is favorite?
2.5, right? Right, Alex? Which is basically a 5.5 point spread. Because we get
Notre Dame can't be favorite.
They are favorite.
They are.
Ask them.
So
we're underdogs, and this is a big game for Mario.
I follow a couple of their beat writers on my Twitter feed. So they have a 2-way quarterback battle going between C.J. Carr, Lloyd Carr's, I think, grandson, and this kid named Minchie. The reality is they want Minchie to win the job because he's a mobile quarterback, but he sucks and he can't win the job.
Okay.
So,
but I thought all along, weren't you thinking, Alex, the other guy is going to be the starter? We thought about that. And all of a sudden, it seems like he's not doing that well either.
Well, Kelvin might be right, though, because, they had been talking about C.J. Carr, like, even back in spring. But to Kelvin's point, like, they still have an open competition going on. So if Carr hasn't been named the starter yet, maybe they are trying to make Minchie a thing.
Because that offense works better with a mobile quarterback. And let's be honest. Do you want a kid who has never taken a first snap, to be in front of 75,000 drunk South Floridians at night with 2 raving lunatics on either side of his tackles, literally they pretty much got to reconstruct the old line. They got most of it back, but if I'm not mistaken, one of those tackles.
One of them's hurt, and
Yeah.
he's not playing.
What?
Yeah, one of their offensive linemen is out.
I think he was actually going to start at right guard, I think.
Yeah,
but
he's
but still, so one of their starting offensive linemen is hurt.
But that messes up the entire flow. And let's say you got a guy in there who is starting at, say, right guard, who is second string, even though he's been first string all fall camp. That when those bullets start flying for real, it's 50-50.
All starts, things like that. That's what we're going to see, I hope. All right, so let me ask you this. You said that the other quarterback, not Carr's, probably going to – they're trying to get him to start. And then in the next sentence, you said he sucks. So what's the difference?
No, Carr sucks. But
the other guy.
Carr, from what I've gathered from listening to them is Carr is a traditional pocket passer. Think Brad Kaya. Okay. Mishi is what's the kid? Malik Rozier. But I guess he can throw a little bit, but he's really mobile. He's got a pretty decent arm, but his passing hasn't, I guess, apparently caught up to what they want it to be. And they got a couple of guys on the outside, but where they're really strong at is at running back.
Yeah.
But
really good. Love and the other kid are very good. So it sounds to me like you're saying if we stop their run, which is what Alex and I talked about last week, and make them throw the ball, they're in trouble.
Yes. And I don't think they can run the ball on us because one of the key additions to the entire program is D. Lou, the D tackles coach.
Right. Of course.
And,
I texted him the minute he got here.
Yeah, we talk pretty much every day, and he is extremely happy. I think it's funny because one of the adjustments that Donta Simpson and David Blay had is they both gained about 10 pounds when they first got here because of the training table. I mean, Miami is facilities and its food service is top tier. And Blay was coming from Louisiana Tech, and he's out of his mind at first. But he and Donta Simpson both have got their weight under control, and they're both playing good. Armando Blunt, they're moving him around. Look, we're going to be a problem. We're going to
did you talk? What does Damian think about those 3 D tackles? Because they're the key. They're the key.
Like Ahmad Moten, Justin Scott. What does he think about these guys?
Justin Scott, this could be the year. I mean, it's his second year, but I think he's going to take off this year. Because I remember watching his high school film when we got him, and I was like, who is he playing against? I mean, because he was just destroying people.
Right.
And it was like, yeah, he's the number 1 D tackle in the country. I'm like, man, he was making those Chicago League kids look like literally, like Pop Warner. And he's 6'6", 310, and then D. Lou wants twitchy guys. Even if so Moten is probably right around 300, 305. Blay is right around 295, 300. Simpson is down to about 305, 310, I think, and then Scott is between 305 and 310. So they're not going to be extremely big, but they are going to be technically sound and twitchy. And it's
fast off the ball. And that was the problem last year with the defense. The defense had so many stunts and shifts and all kinds of nonsense, and now they're just letting them play.
The biggest problem last year was Ruben gets hurt, Damari gets hurt, and the 2 safeties were new, and they didn't study enough, I guess, because you got to understand something. That guy had Cam Kitchens for 2 years, I believe, and Cam is an extremely bright kid, and he opened up the defensive playbook because him and James Williams are both smart guys. So he was into the trigonometry. And then when these new guys came in, he had to, he didn't dumb it down enough. And I think that's what got him fired and got us in trouble defensively because they blew a lot of coverages.
But if our pass rush is better, I think our secondary is going to be better. A lot better because they're not going to have to stay with these guys for 5 and 6 seconds.
The front end and the back end. This is something Sapp always says to me. We've said this for years. Front end and back end are aligned together, and this year the ball's going to have to get out of these. Like, and you know, we talk about Notre Dame's quarterback situation. Florida, Billy Napier, because I got a lot of Florida friends, you know, here in Fort Myers, a lot of Florida alumni, and they're not too happy with Billy Napier because they feel like there's something wrong with Lagway, and he's not telling them.
Right.
Well, he's got 2 injuries from what I understand, right? He's got the one he had, and he got another one in the spring.
Yeah, something wrong with his shoulder.
Right.
But here's the interesting part. He must be sleeping with the athletic director's wife, because why would you schedule LSU and Miami in the first month? I mean, on the road, both of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I understand you have a tough game early on. So I get playing us and then maybe playing a medium game the second game. But you play LSU the week before you play us, and that counts. And you got to go to Death Valley. Oh, they're going to be breathing down his neck. I mean, so LSU is probably going to soften them up for us. And then if those 2 tackles are as bad as they were last year, he's not going to finish the game.
Well, we got a lot more to talk about here with Kelvin Harris, who's nice enough to join us, including his experience playing with Mario Cristobal and the roster that Cristobal is building. And got to get some of those stories from Green Tree. 3-time national champion Kelvin Harris is with us. You want to keep it locked right here. We're only getting started on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Folks, find out why the only ticket service that I use is Game Time, because I'm getting the best deals. Check it out. Miami versus Notre Dame, August 30th. You're going to get the best prices, August 31st, sorry. And those prices are going to continue to go down until kickoff. Concert tickets, folks, we've all been there. Logging on early and waiting forever for your concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. And that's where Game Time comes in. Game Time makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime, and you can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. One of my favorite things about Game Time are the panoramic seat views you get in the app before you buy, so there are no surprises. With Game Time, the price you see is the price you pay. No hidden fees. And if you're worried about what happens if your plans change, the Game Time guarantee has your back with cancellation protection and more. So take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create your account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen. For your next listen, make sure you check out Locked On ACC. I co-host that show with Kenton Gibbs from Locked On Wolfpack. We take you around the conference. A lot of football previews happening this time of year. So make sure you make Locked On ACC your next listen, available free wherever you get your podcasts, and available free on YouTube. Bruce Warner and Kelvin Harris joins us. Kelvin, a former 3-time national champion at Miami. And you played with Mario Cristobal, Kelvin. You know him
Twice.
pretty well. What's that?
Twice. Played with him 4 years in Miami.
Yeah, that's
and,
right. That's
and
right.
a couple years in Amsterdam in the World League.
Right.
Wow.
I still have the Polaroids. For the right price, they can be sold.
We're going to make a bid here on Locked On Canes. We're going to bid for those Polaroids.
Let Game Time know. Let Game Time know they're up for sale.
Now, in terms of what your 2-time teammate is doing at Miami, do you feel he has now assembled the type of roster that he can be proud of and Miami can be proud of?
Yeah, I still remember the first conversation we had, texting back and forth when he got the job. Ironically, I was having my morning board meeting, and this was like maybe one of the first days he had come in the office, and man, he was just disgusted.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God, we got so far to go. And I was like, really? I was like, that far?
Well,
And
he told Leon, he told me that these guys don't know how to work, and that's what
yeah,
burned them up the most.
but
That's
it wasn't just on the field and with the guys. It was like from an administration standpoint, everything. So now, to his credit, he'd been in Oregon where he'd seen everything top notch because Phil Knight spares no expense. And then he was at Alabama, and he got a up close and personal look because Nick pretty much wanted all of his assistants to understand the blueprint. So he would talk to him about that. And then he would, when he got to UM, he would talk to Jimmy. So he had some good mentors, but yeah, he was like, I can't believe it's this bad.
Right, he couldn't believe it.
And then, the first year.
From that to where they are now, which is kind of what Alex's question was, that's a hell of a leap. I know they haven't knocked anybody out yet, but he's making a lot of progress.
To be honest with you, I'm using Texas as a standard for them because our ascension is parallel to how Texas has done it because they were pretty much kind of in the same boat as us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're at the point now where this, we're there now. We got a quarterback who, last year he must have been sleeping with his receivers' girlfriends because they dropped everything. I mean, my God, they were terrible.
Yep.
And the quarterback takes the blame and gets more credit than he should. And he took a lot of blame. And then he gets his shoulder hurt. And to be honest with you, I think Kirby wants to go back to the Stetson Bennett type quarterback that he had, that he won the titles with. But what he doesn't have is top-notch line like he did. Because they paid top dollar for Joshua Horton. And I was like, what? I was like, you kidding me? And
Bama did.
Huh?
Bama.
No. You're talking about the receiver.
Joshua, not Isaiah.
Oh, Joshua.
Yeah. And Isaiah, I know he's got to be kicking himself. It's funny because I was talking to one of my good friends is Pat Nix, Gavin Nix's dad, and Gavin wasn't sold on the defense, and Dan Lanning did a great job of not giving up recruiting him. So, he enrolled early. So, Gavin's whole thing, the defense is too complicated, they think too much. And so when Corey came in, I was talking to Pat about a week ago. I said, yo, man, defense is tough. And in theory, they're playing the same defense that we played when I was at UM. Because Schiano, if you look, you trace it back, Schiano was our coordinator in 2000. He ran his variation of what we call Canes 2 and play. That's what we called it. I mean, it's played more than 2. But he ran his version of Canes. He took it to Rutgers. Corey was at Rutgers with him. He took it to Minnesota. He's come back, and then D. Lewis kind of, added, how some of the stuff they did in Seattle, as in, with the basic defense. But the reality is, get up the field. You play the run on your way to the quarterback, which is our old philosophy, and you play fast. And so I was rubbing it in Pat's face like, yeah, man, because the Landon Wiley kid is going to play.
Kellen Wiley,
yeah. And I was like, man, you did us solid because now this Kellen Wiley kid is getting those reps. And I can tell, that Oregon kind of lied to him. But I mean, that's what happens in recruiting. They lie to you. Mm-hmm. Just like Bruce lied to there's 2 clients they said that they were going to get off scot-free, and now one of them is probably facing life. The other's looking at 15, 20 years. But
all for a traffic ticket. I
know.
It was unbelievable. He got life in prison without the possibility of parole on a speeding ticket. Big deal. He was doing 50 in a school zone. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, but the defensive tackles, I've seen, I guess, on different people on my Twitter feed, different people are worried about the defensive tackles, but we got the right guy in there who's got the right attitude. It'll be the coach for those guys. And then the ends goes without saying. I mean, you got a Hall of Fame coach, but you got Ruben Bain, who I'm questioning his age because with that hairline, he got less hair than Bruce. So he got to be like
I got
30.
more hair than you, damn it.
I shaved my head.
I got the same as Kelvin.
You guys are twins.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Hey, I shave
He
mine
got a
every
little
3
more
years.
sun than you, but yeah, you're like twins.
No, but if Messidor stays, and then apparently Blunt.
Mario's been raving about Messidor.
Yeah, but Blunt's got them all excited too.
Yes, he
So
does.
Yeah.
and I think the key pickup was that Toure kid.
Yeah.
Because here's the key. He's a glue as far as playing at linebacker, and he can play outside, he can play edge, but he knows and he knows the defense, and he can teach it to everybody else.
Right.
That's exactly right.
So it's in place. I don't see Notre Dame beating us. I just don't think they have enough speed to beat us.
That seems to be what everybody's saying. They don't have the speed. We should be able to if we get into backfield and get after either one of these quarterbacks, they're in trouble. I mean, I expect them to try to screen us to death and things like that, but we should be okay. We can't let this running back get 7 yards on first down. They can't be second and short and third and short. We've got to get him long passing downs right away.
He's going to get some runs, and actually, they have 4 really good backs.
Yeah,
it's not just him. They got 4. They had 3 others.
Oh, the backup would be good too.
Yeah, I just don't know if, from a matchup standpoint, their O-line is going to be up to the task. I think in the passing game, to your point, Bruce, they're going to have to throw short passes, and they're going to have to stay out of third and long, second and long, because if they have to throw down the field, they're going to have some problems.
Yep.
Well, I want to ask Kelvin Harris on the other side, because we've talked a lot about the line of scrimmage, which makes Bruce and I very happy. But I want to get Kelvin's take on Carson Beck. You want to keep it locked right here. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen and your first watch. All right, so Kelvin, your expectation for Carson Beck under center at Miami this year?
Heisman Trophy finalist.
See, I agree. I've been saying that all along. The kid's healthy. He was great. You made all the reasons why he wasn't so great last year. It's not his fault.
No, I mean, listen, he's all alive bullets. There's no scenario that is going to come up at the University of Miami that is too big for him. I mean, he's witnessed national championships. He's played in playoff games. He's played hurt in playoff games. He's made big plays. I was watching him talk about the game they came back and won. Oh, the Georgia Tech game. And he was talking about how in his mind, we ain't losing this game. And he said what motivated him was he looked up in the stands and Georgia fans were leaving early. And he was like, oh, so that's what we're doing. And it motivated him. So he's got a fire burned under him. Now, his fire is different than Cam's. They're different personalities, but they both are first-round talent quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree. I saw something yesterday or this morning. I saw a list of the top 10. He's not in it.
Top 10 quarterbacks?
Yep, not in it. Now, that kid Mateer from Oklahoma, isn't he in trouble?
Yeah, he might be sports betting. He's been allegedly.
You can't let this kid play.
Yeah, people are looking at. So this story is crazy because when you do Venmo Venmo is like combination of like social media with paying people money because like everyone can see what your Venmo transactions are, and you write little notes as to what you're sending money for. And he was making notes a couple years ago, sports betting, certain games out there.
Why would he use Venmo? Why not Cash App?
That's what I'm wondering. In fact, I expect we're talking about John Mateer, who's now at Oklahoma, who's Cam Ward's former backup at Washington State. So I would imagine he's good. But So his defense is probably going to be, do you really think I'm that stupid that I was joking around? That's got to be his defense. Like, am I really stupid enough to write sports gambling on there? So I don't know what's going to happen.
That's not
going to get it because they can track the transactions.
Yes. Where the money went to, and if it's gambling and betting, and then if there was money coming back to him if he won, he's in trouble.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't know what kind of a defense he's got, but
man, anyway, we dodged the bullet because he's about as bright as a blackout, man.
The games I mentioned before, the Texas game, the Houston game. If anybody wants to see a pass rush when he was there, and they had Russell, they had Cortez, they had the late Shane Curry, they had a lot. They had Musty Medeiros, they had Kevin Patrick. They were loaded. But watch those two games and watch how fast those linemen got in the backfield. I mean, you guys made you made Klingler look sick. He was horrible, and that's because of the pass rush.
It was a long night for him. Hell, I still remember the first day I went over the O-line. I remember those guys were fighting to get over me in one-on-one. It's like Jimmy, Russell, Cortez, and Shane. Like, no, I got him. No, I got him.
Hey, but you know what? And you also had Dwayne on the team. Now, what you guys called him Dewey, but isn't it true that Orgeron gave him the name Jabroni? He made up some of those names that he used in the ring. It was Orgeron that did some of that stuff. That's what Mark told me.
I mean, it's possible because, if I'm not mistaken, his freshman year, he didn't redshirt. He didn't play, but he didn't redshirt. And then my senior year, I think he redshirted and took the year off. But the first 2 years I was there, for the 2 years I was there with him, he didn't play.
Right, he didn't play. Right, and the story from Leon was he was knocking all the freshman offensive linemen all over the place. And then Leon got out there and said, now you're going to have to get past me. I think Leon hit him in the chest and almost killed him.
Well, I would be honest with you. I remember a couple of times I went against him. He was like, him and Pat Riley both. I felt bad for Pat. I thought maybe he should have gotten redshirted along with like Sapp. But, he fought through it and was the second round. But they both were like titty dancers. I mean, all you saw was chest when they pass rushed. And Dewey never, he never corrected that. When I say that, I mean they stand straight up and you can see their chest. And as a lineman, that's like a Christmas gift. But he was a hard worker, and obviously he did sack Charlie Ward because we used to see it every weekend on Ballers.
Yep, on Ballers, right?
And he, they had a Ballers marathon last night on True TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was a good show. I mean,
it was good.
You know what's crazy? I have a former teammate of mine from the Canadian League named Jason Medlock. His son is a starting outside linebacker at SMU. And so they were in Calgary together. And so he said they were in a game.
Dewey was up there.
Yeah.
So
they had to put Dewey in the game because the 2-3 guys that were in front of him got hurt. So Jason said he was rushing, and Dewey gets Peter rolled and runs into his knee, blows his knee out. And he said Dewey would come in for the next week. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And, Medlock was like, hey, it happens. Of course, Calgary took his playbook after about 3-4 days, and that's when this whole $6 thing starts. And his Danny, lit a fire under him, eventually, because I think he went through a little bout of depression because, I mean, you don't have any money and your career is basically over. And I mean, you go through that, what am I going to do with the rest of my life moment? And it worked out for him.
Yep. I'll say so. But his father was a big time wrestler too, Rocky Johnson.
Man, he was one of my favorites.
He was good.
Yes, he was. You don't know nothing about that, Alex. You lost. You don't know. Rocky Johnson was the man, Alex. He ain't wear no shoes. He drop kicked everybody. You got to go back and look at Gordon.
I've seen some of the old footage. I think I've seen some of that.
You got to go to YouTube and look at Gordon Soley, man. Gordon Soley was the man. Dusty Rose.
I do remember the American Dream. I interviewed him years ago. Years
Oh
ago,
yeah,
Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, yeah. Great dude.
yeah,
Got to
All
meet
right,
him.
so you
yeah.
got us. What's your score on the Notre Dame game?
Honestly, I think because they're a running team, they're going to melt some of the clock.
Hmm. Yeah.
35-14.
Let's
Whew.
go.
Whew.
Wow. Two
I
and a
don't know
half
about
point
that. I'd
underdogs,
love to see
21
that,
point
but
winners. Hey,
I, I
Kelvin has
just,
spoken. I take it.
I just, well, first of all, I'm not the only one that thinks we're good because we're ranked number 10 preseason.
right.
And if we get out of the month of September undefeated, we're just going to steamroll it. Now, of course, once you get out of September, you got to watch for a trick game like Virginia Tech. But
SMU won't be easy on the road.
Yeah, that'll be a tough
yeah,
game.
yeah, they will.
After
I
we
know.
play Florida, we have a week off to play Florida State. Then we have
Yeah.
another week off to the next game. We play one game in 4
Yeah.
weeks. I don't
Right.
like that.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I know SMU's roster is about as good as I know ours because Maurice Crumb's son is a linebacker coach, and I talk to Garen all the time.
And Russell's kid's back this year too, isn't he? RJ.
Yeah.
Now
RJ Maryland is back.
that's going to help them because he
Yeah.
is shouts out to Brevin Jordan. I hope he's all right.
Yeah.
He got hurt yesterday at Texans camp. Well, RJ is similar to Brevin, except he doesn't block at all. He's just not. He's basically more like Kyle Pitts. No blocking corner.
Okay. That I didn't know.
Yeah, but
I talked to Russell. I don't think Miami really wanted him. I don't think he was that good.
he was a developmental prospect, and
Right.
I just think he went to the place where he should have went. Now I know Russell was a little salty, I think, from what I understand at first, but I think even he realizes that, one, he's close to home, and two, he's in an offense that fits him, and he doesn't really have to fight to get on the field.
Right.
Right. Well, I can't tell you enough how much we appreciate the time here from three-time national champ Kelvin Harris. And Kelvin, let the people know about the Miami Huddlecast, and hopefully, I hope I'm not inviting myself, but I know you'd mentioned something about
No, we're
maybe
gonna
I can
get you
come
on
on.
there.
I want to come on the show, Kelvin.
Yeah, it's gonna happen probably in the next couple of weeks because I gotta hook up with Eric McClain. The next episode, I'm probably gonna time it for the week of the Notre Dame game, and then what'll happen is I want to get McClain on. I've talked to him about that to preview the ACC and the national. And I mean, you know what? Yeah, I'll probably because you talk to the one guy. You guys do the Locked On ACC. I also, we can probably bring you on for either the preseason or the game after the week after, and we could talk a national spectrum. But and then because my man Manny Navarro, his wife is begging me to keep him employed, and the kids, they got to have school clothes, so I'm taking bribes from them, the Athletic, to let him come on, and he does national now. He doesn't even really do UM, so
He's all over the place.
yeah, but and he is negative Nancy. That's why I like to bring him on because I've made him the scapegoat because he is, and
that's why I bring Bruce on.
Oh gosh, he makes Bruce look like an optimist. But I understand it because
I've been optimistic the last year.
We've had 20 years of heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really blame the fans. Until we dot the I and cross the T, the fans are going to be skeptical. I just think this is the year, knock on wood, no injuries. I think this could be the year that we win the ACC. Now, winning the national title now is a lot trickier because you got to win 3 games in a row. That's 3 games you got to go through without injuries, fluke plays.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can win the ACC. I think our game against Clemson is going to be that game is what the ACC needs to keep the Wolves away.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah.
We got to beat Notre Dame. That's a great start.
Yeah. Well, listen, I can't thank you. I can't thank you both enough. Sorry to cut you off, Kelvin, but Bruce, thank you. And Kelvin, any parting comments before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Get rid of Bruce.
Yeah, listen, come on, man. I got like 6 names I can get you to replace him with. Hell,
Bruce
you
is
better off with
irreplaceable. We love
you.
Bruce here.
You're better off with Gary Furman, who's older than Bruce.
No, he's not.
He's not?
No, I'm older than Gary.
Well, you only look young.
God, Gary's been living a bad life. I thought Gary was like 85.
I didn't say it. Oh,
Well,
Gary's
this
been my
has
friend.
become a roast here. I want
call
to let Kelvin run before he gets us in trouble, and he's got the Polaroids of Cristobal in Amsterdam. We got to wrap up right here.
Hey,
Kelvin,
let Game Time know. For the right price, they can be had.
you got him. Follow him at Ebony Lifestyles on X. Follow Bruce is not on X, but go ahead, Kelvin.
Well, I was going to say the podcast. It's on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts, and it's Miami MIA dash Huddlecast.
I like it.
Got to
And
throw
it's a
that
good
dash in there.
show.
On all 3.
And if you heard, I mean, Kelvin, clearly he knows this team frontwards and backwards, and it really is a great listen. So guys, make sure you support Bruce, who's all over Facebook. I think, and you have an Instagram. I followed you on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram.
I don't think you post, but you're there. You're on there.
Yeah, I'm on. I look at it.
Yeah,
but
you're a voyeur on Instagram. You like to, look at other people's stuff. I get that.
Yeah. I look at Debbie's stuff all the time, I follow her.
Oh, Bruce, you set yourself up for one, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let that one go, Bruce. Oh, Bruce. The alley oop, I'm just gonna let it go out of bounds because man, the 3-4 things came to my mind then, but I'm just gonna let it go.
All right, listen.
I don't want
get down here the day before the Notre Dame game, so you, me, and Caesar can go to Sicilian Oven.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay?
Yeah,
right.
Alex, you got to join us, man. If you haven't,
I didn't get invited. I mean, he just said you
him,
can
and
go
Caesar.
too. Okay,
we'll take you. We need another token white guy. What can I tell you?
I'll be the designated driver, so you guys can have a good time.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I don't think Bruce can drive anyway. He has a caregiver that drives him around everywhere.
Make sure you follow the show at Locked On Canes. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. Follow me on X at Alex Donno. Huge shout out to Kelvin. I feel like we got to do like an uncensored just story time with Kelvin sometime. We'll get everybody fired.
You're going to get in trouble for. Hey, see, he was there the day that Chris Fowler came down to Mark and Steven's apartment. He was there, so he knows. I've been telling you this for. He's there. Yeah. He saw it. I mean, he was one of the guys that filled in with all kinds of stuff, right? And he went out. He picked Miami.
We'll do the uncensored follow-up another time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.